Democracy is a system of government in which state power is vested in the people or the general population of a state. It is also a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives. Anti-corruption comprises activities that oppose or inhibit corruption. Just as corruption takes many forms, anti-corruption efforts vary in scope and in strategy. And you will agree with me that the anti-corruption war plays a vital role in preserving democracy by protecting the rule of law, promoting accountability, safeguarding public resources, maintaining public trust, encouraging citizens' participation, and much more. Today on The Eagle, we shall be looking at the role of anti-corruption war in the preservation of democracy. Aisha Muhammad is my name, and presenting with me is...
I am Golden Omora. You're welcome to the program.
We are going to tackle financial crimes problems in Nigeria with a human face and a heart of lion.
We are starting the program today with a report on how the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, an asset management company of Nigeria, AMCON, are making fresh moves to strengthen their working relationship towards improved asset recoveries and management. These moves were made in Abuja when AMCON's management, led by its managing director and chief executive officer, Gbenga Alade, paid a courtesy visit to the executive chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, at the commission's corporate headquarters. Ojo Chokutami Eche has details on the visit.
Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of AMCON, Gbenga Alade, while acknowledging the support of the EFCC over the years, stated that his company craved for more support from the Commission. He asked for the Commission's enhanced support for AMCON's recovery drives in aviation, oil and gas, and the power sectors, stressing that if the monies owed AMCON by many people are recovered, they would go a long way in helping the economy of Nigeria.
AMCON cannot achieve anything without the EFCC. We know that. And that is the reason why we believe that this is a strategic alliance between EFCC and us. Mr. Chairman, I really want to appreciate what you have done for AMCON and our colleagues here too, the chief investigative and our AMCON desk officer. But we want more. And that's why we're here.
Responding, the EFCC Executive Chairman Ola Olukoyede assured him of the support and collaboration of the Commission, stating that an enhanced working relationship between the two organizations was necessary in the interest of the country. Olukoyede stated that AMCON and EFCC have always been partners and the two organizations will continue to toe that line. He reiterated that the EFCC under his leadership will always do right things and ensure that the new anti-corruption fight is tailored towards reflation of the economy.
Over the years, I'm not sure there's any agency that has supported AMCON like EFCC. No. Over the years,
yes,
so that's why we dedicated a desk just for AMCON. And so far, I believe the journey has been quite mutually beneficial. You have supported us in our investigation. We have also supported you in realizing and carrying out your mandate.
Ojo Chokutami Eche, reporting for The Eagle.
I'm a proud Nigerian child. I want Nigeria to be great and prosperous, free of corruption and crime, a united Nigeria for all. And today we Nigerian children are saying no to economic and financial crimes and no to corruption.
The Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has charged the National Youth Council of Nigeria, NYCN, to brace up to the challenge of fighting economic and financial crimes and other acts of corruption in the overall interest of the nation and their future. He made the call in Abuja while receiving a delegation of the council that paid him a courtesy visit at the corporate headquarters of the commission. Chinonso Alexander Eni has the details.
According to EFCC chairman, reform-minded youths should no longer wait until the venomous effects of corruption form brick walls against their future. Rather, the youth should rise to the task of fighting corruption to save their future. He reminded them that the youths are the most important stakeholders in the Nigerian project. The EFCC's boss stressed that youths needed complete reorientation to stay away from internet crimes and materialistic pursuits, pointing out that youths could still have a taste of good governance if they support every anti-corruption initiative of the EFCC. Olukoyede challenged youths to look inwards and tackle bad eggs among them in order to be strengthened against corrupt practices. He submitted that Nigeria had enough riches to cater for the needs of youths if economic and financial crimes are frontally tackled. The EFCC boss charged them to be courageous against challenges around them, stating that posterity could vindicate them.
Now we have opened the window. I'm going to direct my public affairs department to partner with you. We are not going to allow you to stop here because some people have come. They have said all what you said, but afterwards we don't see them anymore. You are inviting them for engagement. The next thing we do is a guy need job. I'm telling you. Thank you. So we have programs we have lined up. Our people are here. We have a lot of sensitization programs we have lined up that also involve youth, and all of that. So they're going to discuss with you. We are not going to allow this leadership to stop here. They're going to discuss with you. I will give you my personal direct line, day and night. Talking to me. Let's put us together. This fight, nobody can fight it alone. No single agency, 1,000 EFCC will not be able to do anything without the collaboration of you guys.
Thank you.
So if you see people like you behind us, who have the more boldness, the courage, the little things we are doing, we have to summon courage ourselves to do it.
Earlier, the leader of the delegation, Ambassador Shokubo Seraigbe, in his opening remarks, commended Olukoyede on the success recorded within a short period of time. He expressed support for the works of the EFCC, stressing that Nigerians are the problems of Nigeria. Shokubo explained that his council was willing to partner with the EFCC to deepen the fight against corruption. He made a promise that fraudulent youths would not be allowed to sabotage the efforts of the EFCC. He also noted that NYCN was non-partisan and has wide networks to mobilize young people against corrupt practices. Shokubo also used the opportunity of the visit to invite the EFCC to the 60th anniversary of NYCN.
I'm a proud Nigerian child. I believe in Nigeria. I believe in a Nigeria where we have good roads and steady lights. I believe in a Nigeria where every child gets the opportunity to go to school and enjoy a good health system. I stand with every Nigerian child to say no to cyber crimes and no to all forms of corruption.
Traditional rulers have a crucial role to play owing to their authority and proximity to the people and their primary mandate to preserve customs and traditions. Constitutionally, traditional leaders control vital resources and play very important roles in any service delivery and development strategies to be implemented in their areas. For this reason, EFCC continues to engage them in the fight against corruption. In the next report, His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto, Sa'ad Abubakar III, and the Emir of Ilorin, Ibrahim Sulu Gamari, pledged their commitment to the anti-graft fight of the EFCC. Abbas Abubakar Umar has the details on this allegiance as well as that of other agencies. Over to you, Abbas.
His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto, Sa'ad Abubakar III, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC and the Nigeria Customs Service NCS have pledged their renewed support and commitment to the anti-corruption fight of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC. The pledges were made separately to the Sokoto Zonal Acting Director of the EFCC, Wanneka Nwokike, while on courtesy visit to the Sultan of Sokoto, the Commander NSCDC Sokoto Bello Alkali Argungu, and the Area Controller Zone B Nigerian Customs Service NCS Kamal Muhammad. The Executive Chairman of EFCC Ola Olukoyede, who spoke through Nwokike, assured his hosts of the Commission's readiness to partner with all stakeholders toward redeeming the country from the scourge of corruption, economic and financial crimes. In his response, the Sultan assured the Commission of his continued support and that of the Sultanate. Argungu, on his part, said the Commission can count on the support of his core, as the EFCC is the most critical institution in Nigeria today. Muhammad, in his own response, stated that the EFCC was deserving of support of all Nigerians and institutions having recorded many achievements in the fight against corruption. He stressed that the EFCC has achieved phenomenal successes and has carved a niche for itself in the history of Nigeria. In a related development, the Emir of Ilorin, Ibrahim Sulu Gambari, has commended the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC for demonstrating resilience in the fight against economic and financial crimes and other acts of corruption. He gave the commendation in Ilorin while playing host to the Ilorin Zonal Director of the EFCC, Harry Erin, who led his management team on a courtesy visit to the Emir in his palace. The first-class monarch, who described the work of the EFCC as very important for nation building, said the Commission deserves the support of all patriotic Nigerians for the country to redeem its image before the international community. He stated that the rate at which corruption has permeated the Nigerian system is alarming, that people don't go to school to be taught how to commit economic and financial crimes, but yet find Nigerians getting involved in technically high crimes. While acknowledging the challenges involved in the anti-corruption fight, the Emir admonished the EFCC to continue discharging its responsibilities in fighting crimes and ensure corruption is reduced to the barest minimum, if not totally eradicated. He expressed optimism that the Ilorin Zonal Command, under the leadership of Erin, has all it takes to succeed in crime fighting, describing him as eminently qualified for the job. Earlier, Erin, who described his visit to the palace as homecoming, commended the Emir and the entire traditional institution in the state for the support the command had received from them in the past 6 years of its creation. The zonal director also took time to speak on the mandate of the EFCC, pointing out that the Ilorin Zonal Command of the EFCC has made a lot of achievements in fighting economic and financial crimes such as money laundering, embezzlement, illegal mining, cybercrime, among others, as criminals are now relocating from Kwara because it is no longer business as usual. While urging the royal father and his subjects to always report any case of fraudulent activity that may arise in their domain to the Commission for investigation, he noted that royal fathers have a crucial role to play by using their good offices to champion the crusade against corruption among their subjects. Abbas Abubakar Umar, reporting for the Eagle.
The Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has cautioned students and youths across the country against yielding to destructive peer pressure. He gave the advice at Gleason International Academy, Abuja, which hosted its Technology Week with the theme, Building a Safe and Inclusive Digital Space. Here are the details.
Speaking on the topic, peer pressure and fake life, a recipe for cybercrime, the EFCC boss, who was represented by the head, Enlightenment and Reorientation Unit of the Commission, Aisha Mohammed, described peer pressure as an influence exerted by a group of individuals, usually of similar age, status, or interest, to make others conform to their attitudes, behaviors, or values. Peer pressure, he further said, could be subtle or overt, negative or positive, but in all, it is capable of affecting the recipient's beliefs, choices, and actions. Olukoyede said, while positive peer pressure encourages good habits and new positive experiences that conform with good morals and values, negative peer pressure pushes for risky, destructive behaviors such as encouraging other youth to try at consumption of harmful substances such as drugs and alcohol, or engage in internet crimes or in sexual activities, skip school attendance, or engage in other delinquent behaviors such as stepping out in inappropriate clothes.
The EFCC boss urged the students to recognize and manage peer pressure properly by noting one such prompting conflict with good morals and their well-being, and urged teachers and parents to be helpful in this regard.
Peer pressure happens when you don't have confidence because you want to belong to a particular kind of group or you want to be acceptable by that certain kind of group.
The principal of the school, Charles Ene, thanked the EFCC for the visit and the enlightenment of the students on managing the challenges of adolescence. Amina Kawa reporting for the Eagle.
Salamu alaikum. Yau ma gashi na kawo wani kasan. Kuma kwarai kuwa naira na gugan naira miliyan 500 ne. Ko san yanzu akwai doka? Wace doka kuma? Yanzu ake yayin aje naira. Ana sai a wajen biki ake amfani da naira. Yanzu dala ne ke magana.
Kada in ce kana daga cikin irin mutanen nan masu wulakanta naira. Masu karya darajar naira su wulakanta naira a wurin biki. Suna liƙi, suna tattakata, suna cin mutuncin kuɗinmu. Kamar ba san darajar kuɗinmu ba.
Alhajin canji kana jin tsoro ne?
Akwai doka.
Doka?
Kuma kwamitin nan da ke hana wulakantawa da karya darajar naira na hukumar EFCC na nan.
To?
Sai dai fa ba an hana canji ba ne, amma a bi ta hannun cibiyoyin kuɗi da aka amince. A kiyaye fifita dala akan naira.
Hakika mu kasance 'yan ƙasa na gari. Mu bi doka, mu zauna lafiya.
Welcome to the interview segment. My name is Miracle Chukwuagoziem. After unsettled history of 3 attempts at democracy, which saw Nigeria wobbling at the verge of disintegration, another effort was made in 1999, which has remained uninterrupted 25 years after. In celebrating this milestone, one is not unmindful of the role anti-corruption fight plays in this democratic process, which had been aborted in some parts of Africa by corruption in all forms like vote buying, election rigging, falsification of documents, among others. In today's interview segment, we'll have ACE2 David Mbe, PhD, to talk about the role of anti-corruption war in preservation of democracy in Nigeria. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
So, sir, before diving deep, let us have an understanding of the key word making up the topic of discussion. What is corruption?
Corruption is a form of dishonesty or criminal offense undertaken by a person, group of persons or organizations entrusted with public office in order to acquire illicit benefits. It can also be defined as the abuse of power for personal gain. I consider corruption as the abandonment of good habits. It's important to stress that corruption cannot be subjected to a universally acceptable definition. And that is why even the United Nations Convention on Corruption avoids defining corruption, but listing out activities that constitute corrupt behavior, such as bribery, influence peddling, and embezzlement.
Having described corruption, what is democracy?
Laconically defined as government of the people, by the people, and for the people, democracy is a system of government in which state power is vested in the people. It's a system of government in which citizen participation in the governance of their society is key. The United Nations, for instance, provided an elaborate definitions that include the environment where there is respect for human rights and fundamental freedom, in which the freely expressed will of the people is exercised. This is contrary to certain forms of government like autocracy, a military regime, and so on, in which the will of the people is emasculated.
How are these two words, corruption and democracy, connected?
The point of departure is to note that corruption is antithetical to democracy, because democracy hinges on public trust, corruption is a major driver of democratic decline. It lowers public trust in governance, prejudicing sound policy making to favor private interests, as well as leading to the capture of accountability mechanisms and nominally independent oversight agencies.
Saying that corruption undermines democracy, how can the fight against corruption be made effective to stop this?
Now, a highly corrupt regime consolidates grips on power, and so anti-corruption regime provides for an effective democratic processes, because what the EFCC is doing, for instance, by investigating and prosecuting offenders, the commission sets agenda for an effective system that provides, avenue for people to select fit and proper leaders who will occupy public trust to ensure that governance benefits the people, because the essence of the social contract is that the people benefit from the system.
Generally, how would you describe the role of EFCC and other law enforcement agencies in preserving Nigerian democracy?
EFCC and other law enforcement agencies are central to the entrenchment of democratic ethos in Nigeria. The Commission, for instance, continue to use the tripod of prevention, enforcement, and asset recovery to engage the anti-corruption regime in such a way that the impunities that characterize the days of yore has significantly declined. Those who felt that the prisons, for instance, was for low-level publics are today sharing facilities with inmates in those prisons, and that has set tone for accountability and transparency principles. And so the EFCC, the ICPC, the Code of Conduct, and even the police had played significant role in the preservation of democracy, because the essence of democratic governance is to ensure that the social contract is preserved and that the ordinary man in the countryside benefit from state resources.
What is the role of the citizenry in the war against corruption?
Democratic consideration entails more than just establishing basic institutions and mechanisms for democratic rule, such as free and fair elections, an independent judiciary, or a powerful parliament. Beyond this, beyond the election, there is a requirement that connects the state to its people, its citizens, to nurture public trust. And so public participation is key to democratic and social change.
So what are your final words, especially to youth and those watching us?
In room of any society, they hold the future, as you rightly mentioned, the history of development around the world is that young people conquer societies for their world, for their communities. And so in Nigeria, young people are encouraged to stay focused, because we have young people in this country who are gifted, who are talented, who have the knowledge to turn around the fortunes of this country if they concentrate in channeling their energies to acceptable outlets by abhorring cybercrime, abhorring all forms of crime, concentrate their energy in productive ventures. We will have a society in which, of course, we live in a safe, peaceful and tolerant world. So young people in this country, they should be encouraged to do the right thing all the time, because from doing the right thing, you're then thrust into position of leadership and you continue, those activities that will bring about development.
Democracy, which is globally accepted as one of the best forms of governance, must be worked for and sustained by all involved, including government, citizens, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and international organizations. The fight against corruption is a fight to sustain democracy, which must be owned by everybody, including you. Help EFCC and other law enforcement agencies to fight economic and financial crimes. That's it for today's interview segment. Back to you, Aisha.
Aisha,
yes, Golden.
I agree with AC to David Ngbe. You know, the power to build a nation lies in the hands of the citizens.
Yes, Golden. I 100% agree with him, especially where he talked about the youth being the engine room of the society. So please, the youth should be focused and determined to change the narratives. Let's together make Nigeria greater again.
We, the Nigerian children, are the world, the leaders of tomorrow. There are choices we must make, and one of these choices is to resolve never to be part of corruption. We EFCC Integrity Club, that resolution is possible. As the club teaches integrity, our parents and guardians must play their own part by showing us the way and encouraging us to be better people. Integrity pays. Integrity is the way out of the belly of this monster called corruption. Join the Integrity Club today and be a part of EFCC's foot soldiers and corruption fighters.
And that's how we draw the curtains on this week's episode of The Eagle. Until we come your way again, keep sending in your inquiries, messages, and suggestions to info@efcc.gov.ng. You can also call us on 0809 3322644. Don't forget to use the EFCC mobile app, the Eagle Eye app, to report any fraud you see happening around you. You download the app, you follow the steps and report fraud on the go. And you can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them.
Also remember to join us every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. on our web-based town hall meeting called EFCC Connect, where we answer your questions and note your observations on the anti-corruption fight in order to serve you better. Also listen to our radio, EFCC Radio 97.3 FM, the voices against economic and financial crimes. I am Golden Omura.
And I am Aisha Mohammed, leaving you with this parting words that says, peace cannot exist without justice. Justice cannot exist without fairness. Fairness cannot exist without development. Development cannot exist without democracy. Democracy cannot exist without respect for the identity and worth of cultures and people. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then, in the name of democracy, let us all use that power. Let us all unite and make Nigeria better and greater. Goodbye. God bless Nigeria. Please do stay safe, be kind to yourself and to others around you, and do enjoy the rest of the week.